What would you say is now the #1 cause of death in the African American community?
Heart disease.
Oh, HIV/AIDS.
Diabetes, cancer, AIDS.
I'll say heart disease.
AIDS.
From what I heard, it's probably AIDS, you know.
Probably heart disease.
I think heart disease.
HIV. Gang violence.
What if I told you the real answer was abortion?
Since 1973, legal abortion has killed more African Americans than AIDS, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and violent crime combined. Every week, more blacks die in American abortion clinics than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. And the largest chain of abortion clinics in the United States is operated by Planned Parenthood.
Can we listen to City Girls during my surgery?
Whatever you want to listen
Oh, yeah, okay. Because I want to listen to City Girls.
Oh.
My nigga acting crazy, I'm finna get rid of his baby. At the abortion clinic right now, y'all. Because at the end of the day, I'm not finna get pregnant by no fuck ass nigga that summer's mine. I'm finna pop pussy all motherfucking day.
I'm about to kill it. I'm about to kill it.
First of all, don't knock it till you try it. And when you do try it, really knock it. You know, you gotta get that baby out of there.
We laugh at that. People laugh. We have now reached a point in this country that African American women, though they make up 12% of the population, they account for 37% of the abortions. An African American baby is almost 5 times more likely to be aborted than a white child. The abortion industry at this point kills as many African American people every 4 days as the Klan killed in 150 years. And you can truly say the most dangerous place for an African American to be is in the womb of their African American mother.
I'm BDF, baby daddy free. That mean I ain't got a baby coming out of me. So I'm ABORTING. On my way to the clinic, I forgot the plan B. Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Yeah. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. Let's go. Murder. Bitch, I got murder on my mind. I forgot the plan B. Ain't no cuffing me. You can't put me on the shelf outside with the team. All these having babies, but that ain't finna be me. Said he wanna settle down.
All across America, you can stand outside of the abortion clinics and see a steady stream of black women coming in and out. But somewhere along the way, we got the idea that this is a white issue or a conservative issue or a Republican issue, and therefore, it's not an issue that we have to be concerned about. This same attitude has allowed Planned Parenthood and other members of the abortion industry to carry out this genocide right under our very noses. Right now, in America, about half of our babies are being killed in the womb. And in certain parts of America, more of our babies are being aborted than are being born.
Donald Trump hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
Abortion is the #1 killer of black lives in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Abortion kills more black people than HIV, homicide, diabetes, accidents, cancer, and heart disease. Watch this one. Combined. Combined, 3,000 shootings in Chicago a year, 700 murders. You got to put that with heart disease. You got to put that with HIV. You got to put that with diabetes. You got to put that with just accidents.
Yeah,
and you put that with cancer. Yeah. And it doesn't add up to specifically abortions. And if you think about that number, 1,000 black babies are aborted.
When 17,000 aborted babies were found in a dumpster outside of a pathology laboratory in Los Angeles, California, some 12 to 15,000 were observed to be black. Irma Clardy Craven, Chairman, Minneapolis Commission on Human Rights and Secretary of the Urban League.
This is a statement that was made by a abortionist conference. I want you to hear the words of abortion provider leaders as they're discussing this issue.
Ignoring the fetus is a luxury of activists and advocates. If you are in there every day with women and if you're a provider, you can't ignore the fetus, right? Because the fetus is your marker of how good job you did, right? If you don't account for all the parts and you don't look carefully, you may be setting someone up for infection or hemorrhage or whatever. The fetus matters clinically to us. Not to mention that women know what's in there. You know, about 2/3, over 60% of women are already mothers, and the remainder want to be mothers. They're not stupid. They know what's in there. So the idea, I actually think we should be less about denying the reality of those images, more about acknowledging that, yeah, that's kind of true. So given that we actually see the fetus the same way, and given that we might actually both agree that there's violence in here, ask me why I come to work every day. Let's just give them all the violence. It's a person it's killing. Let's just give them all that. And then the more compelling question is, so why is this the most important thing I can do with my life? Let's talk about that.
No, let's just give them all. It is violence. Yeah, it is violence. It is killing. It is a person. Yes, we are taking the violent act of killing a person. And let's continue doing it. And we're going to ask ourselves why this is the most important thing we can do with our lives.
To understand what the agenda was behind the legalization of abortion, all you need to do is look at the statistics from the U.S. government. Studies from the CDC show that prior to the legalization of abortion, approximately 80% of all illegal abortions were done on white women. One study in New York even found that white women had 5 times as many abortions as black women. But at the moment abortion became legal, that began to reverse. And that's why the legalization of abortion was so crucial for the eugenics movement. Legalization created the ability to market abortion in the black community. And from a eugenics standpoint, that changed everything.
These people cannot have it both ways. First, they say that birth control will reduce the number of abortions. Then they flood our neighborhoods with birth control clinics. And what's the result? Our abortion rate skyrockets. So either they lied about the fact that birth control would reduce abortions in our neighborhoods, or this is the results and the purpose they wanted from the beginning. At this point, I truly have the tendency to believe the latter.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
I consider the other side to be radical because the other side, under Roe v. Wade and other things, the other side, they're radical. People that will kill a baby in the 9th month or the 8th month or the 7th month or after the baby is born, they're the radicals, not the pro-life.
I just want to give you where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth. She has physical signs of that she is about to give a birth. Would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified?
My bill would allow that, yes.
Virginia's governor says he has no regrets on his comments earlier this week defending abortion, even as a baby is being born.
If a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother.
I can respect the absolutist position,
I really can. I scold the left on when they say, oh, you know what? They just hate women. People who aren't pro-life, pro-choice. They don't hate women. They just made that up. They think it's murder. And it kind of is. I'm just okay with that. I am. I mean, there's 8 billion people in the world. I'm sorry, we won't miss you. That's my position on it. What?
That's quite harsh, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
Is
sure
that not your position if you're pro-choice?
Isn't that mainly because you don't like children? I mean,
yeah,
no,
exactly.
no. I mean, but if you are, you said you're pro-choice. That's your position too.
I'm exasperated. The silliness shows you depravity. It's my body, my choice till it's about the vaccination. But that's another topic. Babies being murdered, I'm just saying we should stop it. They being ripped limb from limb, from brim to brim, them from them. Now we singing hymns to him. How wicked and disgusting to cause this disruptions. Removed by dudes with tubes, ended by suctions. We're supposed to be the apple of your eye. But now they're going to die.
At the end of World War II, the German chemical manufacturer IG Farben was identified as the company that supplied the gas used in the Nazi concentration camps. The gas was called Zyklon B, and evidence later showed that Farben's executives knew how it was being used. In fact, evidence was uncovered to indicate that Farben engineers had actually designed the gas chambers. This led to some of them being tried at Nuremberg for crimes against humanity, including genocide and slavery. Interestingly, IG Farben was a financial partner with John D. Rockefeller and Standard Oil of New Jersey in a company called Standard IG Farben. In addition, within 3 months after Hitler came to power, the publicity director of Rockefeller Foundation and personal advisor to John D. Rockefeller, a man named Ivy Ledbetter Lee, was assigned the responsibility of directing public relations for IG Farben.
After the war, IG Farben would change its name to become known as Hercht AG. Today, Hercht is a gigantic multinational corporation with subsidiaries all over the world, including the United States. Ironically, one of Hercht's subsidiaries, Rusal Uclof, is the French company that developed RU-486. In other words, the same company that produced the gas used in the Nazi death camps also produced the abortion pill that is now being used in American abortion clinics. And in both cases, there was a known connection to the Rockefeller Foundation.
Well, it's an unpleasant task because you see pieces of the fetal anatomy which are easy to recognise and therefore bring home to you what you're doing. As the gestation advances, the fetus becomes bigger and clearly is becoming more like a baby. They're less easy to remove from the womb, not just because of the size, but because they are more solid, so more force is needed to do it. But I always remember that what I'm doing is for the good of the woman, and that it is therefore justified, and therefore I'm willing to do it, even though I find it unpleasant.
To those people who believe that abortion is wrong, what you say and what you're willing to do will seem horrific. Is there any strength in the arguments that they have? Are they important? Are they valid?
I understand their arguments. I understand they're anxious about killing defenceless fetuses. I understand that completely. That's something that you have to if you're performing abortions.
Is that what you think you're doing? Killing defenceless fetuses?
Absolutely. But I regard the social situation of the woman as taking precedence over this potential life that we're destroying.
Is that the case?
Overriding from my point of view.
Is that the case at all gestations, or is there a point, do you think, at which the rights, whatever they are, of the unborn child take precedence over those of the woman?
those whom we could not get rid of in the rice paddies of Vietnam, we now propose to exterminate if necessary, eliminate if possible, in the OB wards and gynecology clinics of our urban hospitals. Jesse Jackson, 1971.
Black people are the target of birth control, not because the ruling politicians like them and care about their economic equality, but because they hate them and can no longer use them in plantations and other cheap labor conditions. Muhammad Speaks, the Black Muslim newspaper, 1970.
I believe the entire question of abortions is just one more in the continuous series of events to eliminate the black population. Father George Clemens, Jet Magazine, 1973.
The abortion law hides behind the guise of helping women, when in reality it will attempt to destroy our people. Brenda Hyson, New York chapter, Black Panther Party, July 1970.
The racist tells you to take birth control pills to kill, to murder life that might have existed if you had not. They are planning mass extermination of people they consider dispensable. Van Keys, Oakland chapter, Black Panther Party, 1969.
A true revolutionary cares about the people. He cares to the point that he is willing to put his life on the line to help the masses of poor and oppressed people. He would never think of killing his unborn child. Detroit chapter, Black Panther Party, 1970.
Who the hell is getting the pill? The Mexican and the Negro. Do you want to wipe us out? Cesar Chavez, 1967.
You know, when you study the Nazi Holocaust, you can see these films of Jews running into ditches to be shot in the head. You can even see films of them actually walking into the gas chambers. And it's tempting to ask yourself why they didn't fight back. I mean, if you're going to be killed anyway, what do you have to lose? Perhaps the answer is that they simply could not believe it was really happening. Maybe the normal human mind is just not wired to accept that your fellow man is capable of such senseless brutality on such a scale, even when you see it happening with your own eyes. As African Americans, we need to recognize that we are doing the same thing. We need to understand that terms like pro-choice and reproductive rights and family planning are nothing more than marketing slogans. They're just code words that organizations like Planned Parenthood use to hide the fact that we're voluntarily submitting to the will of those who have been trying to exterminate us since the day slavery ended.
Ultimately, I'm more towards my body, my choice.
Everybody has a choice.
I think if it's what you need to do, then do it.
It's the woman's right to choose.
Be the choice of the woman. I do believe in women's rights.
I think that women should have the right to choose whether or not they want to abort their children.
Certain circumstances, make you have to do that.
Until childbirth.
I believe all the way up until birth.
About 8 months to ask, 8 months to know.
Probably the first 6 months.
Especially, I'm for abortion if a woman's been raped or either there's incest or something like that. I think that they should have the right to make decisions about their body, their own body. Absolutely, yes.
Here's the video I'd love your thoughts on.
You don't want to see this. It's pretty horrific. I didn't think they did it like that.
I didn't know any of that.
I never saw a video like that about how the procedure was performed. I don't agree with that.
I don't think it's right that the baby has to go through all that because someone didn't want them.
It changed my mind about the time frame there.
Do you consider yourself strongly pro-life now?
Yes. Now that they're watching that video, my opinion changed 100%.
I always kind of thought it was just like a little seed that they kind of scope out.
Say that your original stance on abortion has changed?
Yeah. Yes, after seeing that video, 100%. I will be against abortion, for sure, 100%.
That stage, I didn't know the child was fully developed, so that's definitely not a good stage to have an abortion.
Yeah, but the baby is always alive after conception, and that's why abortion does kill an innocent human being.
Well, after seeing that video, yeah.
You went from thinking abortion should be available till birth to maybe being banned at month 3.
I mean, to be completely blunt, I was kind of thrown for a loop.
Say the video changed your mind about abortion?
Yes, it did.
I'm sorry, all right? I'm fine. My mom went through 5 abortions before she did decided to keep me.
That's crazy, like pulling off the limbs and stuff. Because my sister like just had a baby.
Everybody was forcing her to have an abortion, and she held her ground. And now, of course, everybody loves the baby. She had the baby.
It could have been me, you, him, anybody else walking around through here.
It's not like a designer handbag. Oh, maybe I'll keep it or not. It's a life. Now I'm gonna educate my friends and whoever's asking about abortion, every life deserves a life.
Life is more important. You never know what that child may become.
And don't just kind of take a life that hasn't got the chance to develop yet. I hope you guys watch the video if it's linked or anything.
And the video help change your minds at all about abortion?
100%.
Text me or whatever a link to that video. I'm a high school principal.
That's a life, and they're destroying, and they haven't even got a chance the baby to see what's life all about.
If I were to bring up on this a video or imagery of what abortion really is, showing it, the horror of it, the reality of it. If I were to confront the viewer with the gruesome nature of what abortion looks like and is, the sights, the sounds, everything, if you were to go there, in fact, probably everybody before they take an opinion on this should go and see these babies being chopped up and their organs sold off to donors to Planned Parenthood. And then form an opinion on these babies. Look at that 20-week baby. But I'm not going to show you the gruesome stuff. I think we really do need to face it. There was a time when American society was needing a wake-up call from the racism that had festered for centuries in this country, to the colonial times, so the times of slavery and on through to the Civil Rights era. That was called the 1950s, the Civil Rights Movement. There was a little boy named Emmett Till. And Emmett Till was visiting the South, where it was especially potent, the racism that you would find there, and there were codes of what you're supposed to do and not do. And he was from Chicago, if I remember correctly, from up north, visiting family down in the South, and saw a white lady he thought was pretty and was goofing around and whistled at her. Well, that was a death sentence down there. The men around that woman got wind of this. They hunted him down. They brutally tortured him and murdered him and threw his body in the river. And his mother demanded an open casket, that the whole country would be faced with the horror and the brutality of what was done to that boy. And today, it's being done to millions of innocent babies. And if I were to show you images, I'd be the bad guy for resorting to fear tactics or whatever. Look it up. Know what this practice is, this medical practice, this genocide, this mass murder that would make Hitler blush. And if we are participants in that in any way, we have got to, right now, get our act together. And I'm afflicting the comfortable right now. The Word of God speaks truth and conviction to a society, to a community, to an individual who needs to hear it. For those struggling with those past decisions, don't feel condemned by the strong words right now. Don't let the accuser weasel in right now. You can be a voice for the unborn. Not to atone for your sin. Jesus already atoned for it. But because you believe in the value of babies' lives today. So my next slide is just blank. Instead of revealing what abortion really is, it's the unwritten chapter in this saga. The struggle for justice for these babies. We all have a pen in hand and a page before us that is blank, and we will write the next chapter in this movement. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. famously stated, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And you know what else he wrote in his letter from the Birmingham jail when he was imprisoned for civil disobedience for standing for right? He wrote about the early Christian era in the first century, and he said, you know, those Christians, they spoke out against the infanticide that was going on in the Roman Empire at the time. And he said they had an impact on the culture around them. Lives can be saved, and not just that, but when we witness to the truth and when we speak justice, we win souls to Christ because we reflect His character. When we give the religious liberties message and we care about people's health and we do all these other things, that is feeding right into the ultimate aim and goal of our lives, souls won to the Savior and preparedness for Jesus' second coming. This child on the screen will never have an opportunity to grow up and choose what day to worship on, what God to worship. We speak of religious liberty, and we need to. Liberty, absolutely crucial in the great controversy, reflects the character of God and gives us a witness to the world that we stand for something good. But isn't the right to your life a prerequisite to freedom of religion and the right to practice your religion? Will we speak in defense of the lives of these babies? Oh, I don't want to get political. You don't have to get political. Have I gotten political in this session? Absolutely not. I shared what the trends were in the political people out there, but we don't need to link up and I'm a this and you're a that. We just need to stand for truth and stand for right, though the heavens may fall. And the reality is that the little precious black boy in the mother's womb, the little innocent Latina girl, the little sweet and precious human of any race, has been targeted by the enemy, who's had a sophisticated propaganda machine for over a century, convincing us that this is some cherished right and liberty, and we can call that what it is, a lie from the devil. And we can speak up for the defenseless, give voice to these precious babies. This is the greatest injustice since the transatlantic slave trade, and it's something that we do not want to be on the wrong side of. And at some point, silence becomes compliance. Will you stand for right though the heavens may fall?